What's going on, everybody? It's another Timmy B random video. Today we're going to be installing a residential JackShaft garage door opener. And this is our garage door we're going to be working on for the day. It is a new construction home, so it should be a nice, easy, clean install. Now what's great about the residential JackShaft is that it's long, sleek, and beautiful. And instead of being in the center of your garage, it sits off to the side of your garage door and you don't even notice it. Now our garage is full of stuff, as you can see. The homeowner is moving in and there's a lot of construction stuff going on here. But like I was telling you, instead of the center mount sitting in the center of your ceiling here and having a rail that runs down the middle, it's gonna sit off to either side of your garage door. And you can see over here, we have some power right up there, which means we're gonna set our JackShaft on the right side of the garage door. Now what you'll notice is that they've run all our wire down both sides of the track. So we got a wire over here, we got a wire on that side for our sensors, and then we got a wire up here that's gonna run our wall mount, all power right here to our JackShaft, which is gonna mount right here and plug in to that outlet. So this is our JackShaft unit. It's nice and slender. And it sits right along the edge of the track and connects to that torsion tube there. And of course, we're gonna be installing it over on the right side. It's a pretty easy setup. You just take this coupler right here. You're gonna put it on either side of the JackShaft, depending on which side of the garage door you're gonna put on. And then it's gonna connect the JackShaft right onto the torsion tube. You tighten it down. You're pretty much done after you wire everything up. Now we've currently got our JackShaft laid over on the side. We have our coupler in place, and we're gonna put a little bracket down here that's gonna connect the bottom of the JackShaft to the wall once you have everything wired up and leveled off. So this is our little bracket that's gonna connect our JackShaft, the lower portion of it, to our wall, and we're gonna use these little two 5/16 bolts. There's a slide portion here. You're gonna connect that portion to your JackShaft. That way you can level everything out when the time comes to it. Get your bolt started and you can still slide your bracket in and out for when you make your wall connection. Now we'll get the cover out of the way so it doesn't get broken while we're putting the unit up. JackShaft. We're going to put our coupler right over the torsion tube in and push everything all the way over as far as she goes, pushing it up against the bearing plate and tight to the track as it'll go. And here's a closer look at our JackShaft. And you can see we're mounted tight there against our bearing plate. JackShaft is up and mounted, and next thing we got to do is just connect our wire. This is going to be our wall mount and our safety sensors. However, they're too short to wire up behind the unit and down through the bottom like it's made to do, so I'm gonna make my own little wire come out of the connections from the JackShaft and meet my wire, which is gonna look real clean. Right here is where we're gonna connect all our wiring. And I'll start out just by prepping my wire before I get it into the unit, and then I'll run it out the bottom of the unit and out the back and catch up with the hardwired stuff that's already here. Red and white is going to be our wall mount, and our black and white is going to be for our sensors. And the green there is going to be for a roller option that goes up in here that kind of helps roll your cable there, but this door doesn't have it, so we're not using that. And then we're going to plug into these prongs right here an extra lock that goes at the end. So this is where they've got our wire ran for our wall mount. So we're gonna cut a little bit of this excess off because, as you can see, they leave you with a lot to work with. So we'll cut some of that off, but not too much in case we mess up. Now this Cat 5 wire, some of it's real cheap and hard to work with, and some of it's not so bad to work with. But basically you cut all the excess wires off you don't need, and you're only using 2 out of all of those. So we went with blue and white to the JackShaft, And we're gonna go with blue and white down here to our wall mount. And here's our wall mount right here. We're gonna loosen up these 2 screws and attach our wires. We got power. Mounting our wall mount is gonna be super easy. We're just gonna drop a screw in the wall for the bottom of our wall mount first. Pick a spot. Now you're gonna wanna take that screw almost all the way in. And most of the time you can shove this wire back into the wall, keeping everything clean. She's sitting pretty. Our wall mount is hung. We're just gonna drop 1 more screw up at the top and we'll be all set over here, besides setting the clock. We got our wall mount all wired up, and all we gotta do is wire up our safety sensors. We know we're gonna plug into the black and white. We're gonna connect to these wires, tape everything up, put everything behind the unit, make it clean, and then we'll go downstairs and work on the sensors. You can see our jack shaft is all wired up and our wires are looking pretty. Now to work on the sensors. Now we like to make our sensor wire nice and pretty, so we coil it up with our screwdriver to make it look like a 1985 home phone cord. Once we do that, we attach it to a bracket. We take that bracket, attach it to the actual track with a bolt, and then we wire everything up. And we have power. We have to do this on the left side and then again on the right side. And once we have everything wired up, we should have a green light and we should have an orange light. All right, everything's in place. Our lock's up. Our wires are pretty. Our wall mount is up. Our safety sensors are up. We have power to everything, and we're gonna program our door. So first thing we're gonna do is decide how heavy it is. Then we'll program how high we want it to go. And we're gonna want it to sit bottom seal pretty even with this weather stripping. So we'll bring it down a pinch. Nice. Now we'll set our down motion, and hopefully the hound stays out of the way. Nice, and we have nice contact with the bottom. So now, we're gonna let the door run through its own program mode. So the door will run through its program mode. It'll learn itself up from where we set it, and then it'll learn itself down from where we set it, and we'll be good to go. And there's our jack shaft at work, leaving our center sealing nice and clear and looking good. That's all she wrote, folks. I appreciate you watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you want to see what I get into next. Have a great day.